My name is Simon Towle, and today I'm going to show you via examples some of the content from my new book, which is available on Amazon. It's called Go Faster Workbooks, and it's a guide on how to improve workbook performance in Microsoft Excel. The book was written primarily for Excel 2016 and 2019, and also for those of us that have Office 365 subscriptions. And today we're going to be using the Mac version of Microsoft Excel, which is in fact very similar to the Windows version of Excel 2016. So if we open up a blank workbook, and first of all I'll just make the viewing area a little bit larger. Now for today's examples, we're going to create a structured table. These are very useful. You can have more than one on a worksheet, so they're quite efficient. The referencing within a structured table is very easy to write and to understand. So we're going to, for our example, to use right angle triangles. So we're going to create in the legacy fashion some column headings. These all refer to values within a right angle triangle. We have two sides normally from school days. If we have 3 and 4 for the first two sides, then we know that the third side is 5. We know that that's usually calculated, and we know that it's the square root of each side squared. So if we add it together, so it's C3 times C3, and there's the same answer. The area is equal to the first two sides multiplied together divided by 2, because two right angle triangles give you the rectangle or square, and the circumference are the three sides added together. Now we could add them together individually in this fashion, or we could use the sum function in Excel and we could sum the range. So two different ways of doing it. We could have some other examples. A good idea for test purposes is to use multiples, because you know that if you then copy those formulae down, you know what the answer should be. And that all looks correct. Now, to create a structured table from what we have here in front of us, and you'll notice that each of the formulae has individual references. Well, to create a structured table, there are two ways. You can either use the insert table feature, and that will automatically, if you're within the range, it'll show you what the range should be, although you can use the rubber band to change the range. You can have table headers or not have table headers. And the other way is the shortcut, which is a Control T, and that'll give you exactly the same thing. Now when you create the structured table, it creates within the ribbon a new tab, and in the Mac version it's called Table, and in the Windows version it's called Design, but the contents are pretty much the same. We have a table name. Now we could change that if we wanted to right angled, so we know this is all about right angle triangles. You'll notice that within the table there are filters, and you can change the sort order. Also within a table, if you click on a particular cell reference, and then right click, you can insert rows below. You could also insert multiple rows above. We could fill in some more values, so let's put in 4 and 5. You'll notice that the formulae are automatically copied down. That's one of the nice features within a structured table, but at the moment we've got the old formulae, so let's put in some structured table references. Now if we click in the first cell, you'll notice that it has its own syntax, Within opening and closing square brackets, we have an @ symbol. That indicates it's on this row, and A is the column header. So if we multiply it by itself and we add column B, that's multiplied by itself, that should give us 5. And as you'll notice, it copies down the formulae to all of the other cells, and interestingly enough, it's the same formulae. And that's one of the beauties with structured table referencing. The formulae doesn't change. And if we do the same with the area formulae, it's side A times side B divided by 2. And again, it's copied down, and as you can see, it's the same formulae. And if we do the sum, it's the sum of all 3. And if we hit return, you'll notice that it's copied it down. And you'll also notice that in here we have the name of the table right-angled, at indicating this row, and we want to sum the range of this row from A to C. Now you'll notice also that structured tables bear no relation to the column headers above, so they're completely independent, and you can copy and move them around the sheet, so they're quite interesting feature of Excel. One of the next features I wanted to show you was, this is in chapter 10, lookups, and we're going to do a lookup, but before we do, let's just add some more values in. We'll add a 5 and a 6, we could add a 10 and an 11. Let's just insert another table row above, and let's have a 5 and a 7. So there's some examples. Now we may want to do a lookup. Now in this we're going to do a lookup. Let's do a lookup, and we want to return the 5 and 7 value for the third side, which is 8.6. So we're after this value by looking up these two values. Well, we can do that in one go. And instead of using VLOOKUPs, we can use index and match. So if we go index, and we want to look up, the answer is going to be in this area. And you can see that it puts the name of the table, right-angled, and it's column C. So that's where we're looking up, and we can use a match function to do the actual lookup. And we're going to look up 5 and 7, so we can actually use 5 ampersand 7. It's one way we can do it, so we can do it in one go. Now, not the most efficient way of doing it, but it's easy to write, and so we're going to do it this way as an example. And we want to look up the 5 wants to be in this area, and the 7 is in this area. And we're doing an exact lookup, so you want to find an exact match. So we close the brackets, and there you go. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and hope to see you again very soon. Goodbye.